Hey everybody. Hey everybody, welcome. Apparently I missed something on my oh jeez. Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to the show. I need to have on my to-do list, make sure that I'm actually streaming. And I didn't do that today. So I'm live. Let me make sure. Does someone see me live? Okay. I think I'm live. Looks like I'm live. Refresh, everybody. Refresh. Let me put that in there. Live now. Okay. Hey everybody, thanks for being so patient. I appreciate that more than you know. So that's one of the things. That's one of the issues that I have. I am so singularly focused. Sometimes I miss things that are out on the perimeter. That happens sometimes. So what the heck? Let's start from the get-go. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the show. It is June 12th. It's not the 12th. It's the 13th. Oh my God. I'm doing everything wrong today. Damn. Okay. Well, I will get back to y'all are awesome. Thanks for watching the behind the scenes. Well, let's get started. I'm going to hit this little 7-second intro and we'll get into it. Hey everybody. Now we're here. Oh my goodness. Today we're diving headfirst into the topic that can make corporate CEOs sweat more than a politician caught in a scandal. That's boycotts. Brace yourself, folks, because I'm here to tell you, boycotts, yes, boycotts, they actually work. Okay, and stick with me because apparently YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth streaming session. Don't know what the hell is happening today. But for those people that are watching me live, I appreciate you, and we're going to get through this. We will get through this. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know some of you are skeptical and you're thinking, Tom, are you trying to sell us a bridge that may happen to be in Brooklyn? No, hear me out. Boycotts have a long history of shaking things up. Like a Polaroid pic. Stop. Remember the Montgomery bus boycott in the 50s? Yeah, that's right. Rosa Parks. You remember her. Her refusal to give up the seat ignited a flame that sparked the civil rights movement. Boycotts have a power to grab society by the collar and say, hey, we're not buying it. Let's talk about recent successes, shall we? Remember the fury upon the financial world during the Occupy Wall Street movement. Do you remember that? People boycotted the financial institutions that were too big to fail. And they sure made a statement. Sure, Wall Street bounced back, but they felt the heat. Then they sponsored floats for gay pride parades, and many of the protesters became promoters of those same institutions. But the boycott worked. Let's not forget the power of the people. In the era of social media, we can mobilize, we can share information, rally support, create waves of change. But here's the real secret to why boycotts work. Money talks. And I'm not talking about the sound of the cash register. I'm talking about the impact on a company's bottom line. When we hit corporations where it hurts in their profit margins, they start listening. Suddenly, they're more attentive than when you take away a teenager's phone. They realize that if they don't change their ways, their customers will walk away faster than a cat from a bath. So, my friends, if you're thinking about boycotting, go for it. Embrace your inner activist and put your money where your mouth is. Just remember to have a sense of humor about it along the way, because let's face it, life's too short to take ourselves too seriously. And if all else fails, remember that laughter is the best medicine. So, join me in a round of laughter, a cup of satire. Let's keep fighting for change, one boycotted, one punchline at a time. My name's Tom Coffey. This is the Coffee Nuance Show, the best censored commentary and news show live right now. Flame on. Hey, yes, I apparently am having a case of the Tuesdays. Thank you, Eric, for that comment. Glad everybody was able to check in. Sorry for the people watching the spinning coffee mug too long on Rumble. Yeah. That's is what it is, I guess. Anyway, something is happening with the internet. I don't know. And I'll just have to keep working to try to make this thing better. But boycotts work. They certainly do work. Single boycotts don't necessarily work, but they do make you feel good. You know, I've done my own personal boycotts, and I get satisfaction out of that. So you can choose to have a personal boycott or to join in a boycott with other people. Whatever. The whole point is you can spend your money any way you want to, and you can spend it anywhere you want to. And if there's companies that are doing things that you don't approve of or that you don't care for, such as Target or Bud Light, join the boycott. They will see that what they're doing is unacceptable and that they will lose billions of dollars if they do that. And this is a way that you can tell these companies, hey, other companies, look what we're doing to this company. We'll do it to you next. Don't follow suit. Now, some of the stuff that's going on is a lot more complicated. And I'll get into that someday. But I just wanted the main point of this to be that boycotts work. They absolutely work. The main one that I think really changed everything was Occupy. And the thing with Occupy, why it worked so well, is people united in a boycott. They united against Wall Street. And you had people on the right, people on the left. They were together. And that's what is the most scared. That's the scariest thing for all world leaders ever, okay, is you can't have the people united against you. That's why divide and conquer. We've heard this our whole life, divide and conquer. And when that happens, it works. Dividing people works. Uniting people to boycott also works. So you need to be aware of who's dividing us, who's uniting us. And companies that are dividing us, they're part of the problem. Those companies that are trying to unite us, those are the companies that we need to get behind. But anyway, that's just my take on it for today. My brain's a little frazzled because of the delay in the start of the show for everyone. I was talking to myself. Anyway, we got a good show for you today. Stick around the after show. I'll be going through all of your comments. Also, I have a number of follow-ups for us today for stories that I've done in the past. So that's one of the great things, is because I report on things and then we get updates as to what's happened. So if you've been watching this show for a while, I have some updates for you. So that's good. This first one, I do want to give a little caveat here. If you don't like me saying negative things about Joe Biden, take a walk for 5 minutes and then come back. Okay? I know that some people don't care for, think that I speak negatively about Biden too much. And if that's you, just take a walk for 5 minutes. I got a little story to get to right now. Burisma executive keeps 17 audio recordings as an insurance policy. Insurance policy for allegedly bribing Joe Biden. Looks like someone's trying to win a Grammy for best recording of an elected official. Now, sadly, that's not a category. So Republican Senator Chuck Grassley claimed that a Burisma executive has 17 audio recordings as an insurance policy regarding an alleged bribe to Joe Biden. Grassley cited a memo detailing a $5 million arrangement between Biden and a foreign national for policy decisions. He criticized the FBI and accused the Biden Justice Department of bias. Grassley mentioned ongoing investigations into Hunter Biden's finances and highlighted undisclosed foreign payments to the Biden family. So this is a follow-up from a story that I've had just recently about this alleged $5 million bribe. Now, allegedly, Joe got $5 million, Hunter got $5 million, and there's audio tapes. Now, to me, taking $5 million to change U.S. policy, $5 million bribe, when you're the vice president, seems to be a bit of a bigger deal than mishandling some classified documents. To me, there's no comparison between the two. But what are we talking about today? We're talking about Trump's arrest in Florida over all these documents. Interesting that this story about the $5 million bribe, that there may actually be proof, not as big a story in the corporate media today. Not as big a story. Interesting. So, but here's the thing. This story falls into the category big if true. Big if true. And that's kind of reminiscent of so many stories I've heard about Trump for the past many years. Oh, this is the one. If this story turns out to be true, oh, it's a big deal. Oh, the walls are closing in. This is the story that's really going to take him down. I kind of feel the same way about this story about Biden. Now, do I think it's true? I don't know. I want to hear some evidence. I want to see some evidence, right? That's what I want. I want to know what the truth is. Will we ever find out? Probably not, right? Will these 17 audio recordings ever be made public? It's doubtful, right? Interesting that it's 17. 17 always seems to be, I don't know, some Illuminati number, just as a side note. Kind of an odd numerology thing about the number 17. But now, if this is true, it's a huge deal, right? If this is true, it's a huge deal. But this does fall into the big if true. I've heard this a million times about Trump. The walls are closing in. This is the time. And then nothing happens. And I suspect, if I had to make a prediction, that's the same thing about this Biden story. It'd be big if it were true, but who knows if it's true or not. Apparently YouTube's a little choppy today. I don't know what the heck is going on. Looking over at Rumble. Rumble seems to be choppy as well. I don't know what is happening with the internet, but I will I'll go into Comcast this afternoon and ask them what the hell is up with their upload speeds, because this is not doing well. Paying a lot of money. It should not be slow. Anyway, we'll try to get... but what do you think about this story? Do you think it will actually turn out to be true? That it will actually turn out that we will hear these recordings of Joe Biden taking this $5 million bribe? Do you think we'll actually ever hear that? Let me know in the comments. Now, I don't think we will, but I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, let's see what else we got happening today. Your personal data is for sale these days. It's like a yard sale, but instead of old junk, they're selling your privacy. Hoarding secrets has never been so profitable. So there's a recent report by a top U.S. spy agency. Now, we're not saying which one, but it's has 3 letters and it's based in Washington, D.C. Warns of extensive availability of Americans' personal data for sale. And this is an extreme privacy risk. The report states that commercially available information now replicates intrusive surveillance techniques, calls for better policies and safeguards, as anyone can purchase sensitive data in loosely regulated marketplace. And this report highlights the lack of oversight and transparency in government purchases of personal data. Oh, that's right. The government is purchasing all of this data from these companies. So when we say the government is purchasing this, who's actually purchasing it? Oh, that's right. The U.S. taxpayers are paying for these companies that are collecting our data to be turned back over to the government so they can put those all together, connect all the dots, and take away pretty much all privacy that we have. This is just ridiculous. There really is no regulation on collecting this data. You know, one of the things that they do with this, they say it's anonymized, right? So they will just collect a bunch of data about you, but you don't know specifically who it's tied to. But then when you have one group of data, another group of data, another group of data, you put those into a big database, they can connect all the dots, right? They can do that. And that's the thing, is our government is buying up all of the data collected by all of these companies, right? So we're paying for it. They're putting it all together so that we essentially have no privacy. And all of the politicians, your favorite politician that you love, isn't doing a damn thing about it. No one is doing anything about this. This is a totally unregulated field. You can collect data and then sell it. And when you have captive buyers, that's what the government is. Because it's like, if I were to set up a data collection company, right? I could charge anything I want to. And the U.S. government, if they want the thing, they're going to buy it, no matter the price. Because it's not really their money, right? That gives me an idea. Who wants to start a data collection company with me? Because I think there's big money in this. I mean, I'm being facetious because I don't have the time and energy to start a data collection company, but I bet there's big money in it. And I bet we could get the U.S. government to pay us for it. I don't know. All of this kind of goes against all of the themes of America that I learned when I was a kid. I would really support a candidate that said that they would work toward protecting the privacy of Americans. But have you heard a single politician say that they want to do that? Have you heard one say that they want to protect the privacy of Americans? If you have, let me know in the comments, because I want to know who I should start supporting. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. So we'll just have to see. Anyway, I got some other interesting stories, and this one involves one of my favorite cities in the entire world. Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum is stepping down to run for president. Talk about climbing the political ladder. I guess she figured if she can handle a city of 20 million people running a whole country, should be a piece of tres leches cake. Ba-dum-bum. I know, I got to have one dad joke in every show. At least one. Mexico City Mayor Claudia Sheinbaum. She's going to step down and run for presidency in 2024, aiming to become Mexico's first female leader. The ruling party, Morena, will announce its nominee on September 6th. Sheinbaum is a front-runner, favored over rival Marcelo Ebrard. She emphasized her credentials as a scientist and environmentalist and pledged to continue López Obrador's transformation of Mexico. Most polls give Sheinbaum a slight advantage, and she's emphasizing security, healthcare, and education. Mexico has an opportunity for economic growth due to companies shifting manufacturing from China to Mexico. So that's great. Looks like we're frozen up on again, but perhaps we'll get to it. I don't know. I will keep going. What a garbage stream today. What a garbage stream. Anyway. But yes, Mexico City is one of my favorite cities in the entire world. I may live there someday. I really, really like it. And I've been following Sheinbaum on Twitter for quite a while now. Just seeing what she's been tweeting out, getting a handle on what's happening there. I'm impressed by her. And it will be interesting to see if Mexico can beat the U.S. to having a female president first. The way that it works in Mexico is you are not allowed to run for re-election, right? I think they have 1 6-year term, I believe. Not an expert in this. And so AMLO, the current president, he's not allowed to run again. And so, yeah, it's shaping up to be interesting thing. So there's a little something for you to know about south of the border. And we got one more regular story to get to today. And this is just silly. Elizabeth Gilbert's new book set in Russia got a niet from Ukrainians. Looks like it's Eat, Pray, Love, except not in that country. So here's the story. Elizabeth Gilbert, best-selling author of Eat, Pray, Love, has caved to pressure and decided to halt the release of her upcoming book, The Snow Forest, due to backlash over its setting in Russia. Ukrainian readers expressed anger and disappointment given their country's ongoing conflict with Russia. Gilbert listened to the concerns, removed the book from the release calendar, respecting her Ukrainian readers. No new publication date has been announced. The novel, set in Siberia during the last century, explores individuals resisting the Soviet government. Gilbert will focus on other projects and offer refunds for pre-orders of the book. So, get this. She writes a book in the last century that's critical of the government. And somehow that's not good enough because it takes place in Russia that we need to cancel it. Well, the theme of today is boycotts work. And this boycott did seem to work. It got her to cancel even putting the book out which is insane to me. I think a better boycott is just don't buy the book. If you don't like the book, don't buy the book. But this works. You put pressure, people cave. Now, I think that this particular boycott is insane to me. This is a fictional book. It's a fictional book set in the past. You know, if people go through with this, then you could never have any fictional book that took place in like the antebellum South. Well, there will be no more books about that because bad stuff happened at that time. If we're to go along with this, I guess you can't have a fictional book that takes place during World War II in Germany because, you know, bad stuff happened there. So, I don't know. I guess we can't have a fictional book. It's silly. But it's just more evidence that boycotts work. Yeah. Even if they're really dumb. So just keep that in mind. I think we only have so much time in our life. And I think this kind of boycott is a waste of our time. But that's just my take on it. What do you think? Again, this doesn't really affect me. I don't read a whole lot of that type of fiction. I guess really the only kind of fiction I read are like spy novels and stuff like that. But you know what? I want my spy novels to take place in countries where bad stuff happens. I want a spy novel that takes place in Russia. I want a spy novel that takes place, you know, inside Saudi Arabia or something. That'd be good stuff. That's interesting stuff. It's fiction. It's make-believe. But I don't know. Boycotts work whether they're smart or stupid boycotts. But lastly, I got a little good news for us. 12-year-old Fiona Curry. She's a 12-year-old prodigy. She's graduating from Los Angeles City College with a perfect 4.0 GPA and an associate's degree in studio arts. Now, despite her age, Fiona sees college as an opportunity to enhance her artistic abilities. She maintains straight A's as a homeschooled 9th grader, and her achievement is highly praised by the college. Fiona plans to continue taking college classes while attending high school. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that if you are a bright kid, if you're bright, I think you can start taking college classes at 12. And I don't think that college is for everyone. And I think that that's one of the issues. That's why we have such a problem with college, is it's not for everybody. It really isn't. And it's okay. There's so many other avenues that you can go. You don't have to go into debt and go to college. I think we'd be better served if instead of making college available to more people, if we made college available to less people. That's my own take. But in my opinion, I think some 12-year-olds are able to go to college. And if they can, I think that they should. I would tell personal stories about myself and what I did at that age and classes that I got to take. But I don't know. The stream seems to be garbage today. So maybe I'll save that for another time. Anyway. But I think we're going to see more of this because more and more people are moving their kids out of the public schools, moving to homeschooling, where they're not held back by the public institutions that keep kids from accelerating, that keep kids from advancing. And so I think we're going to see more and more of this because a lot of people, high school's a joke. And really, high school is to help people socially integrate and to develop social skills and things like that. It's not necessarily what they're teaching because, frankly, a lot of what they're teaching is not that difficult. So I do think that we're going to see more and more of this, more young people taking classes, and I would encourage it. If you're just go on to something else, because if you keep going up, you're going to eventually get to a level that you're going to find challenging. And I think that's what all of us want, is we want to do something challenging. Today I'm doing something challenging, trying to do this show. Anyway, I think I'm about to go break stuff and make myself a cocktail. So it is what it is. Stick around for the after show. We'll see if that even works. But anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll reset the whole damn system and maybe it'll work. Anyway, until then, peace. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. And again, looks like I've screwed something up here. Don't even know what I did. Interesting. I take that out and it changes the one underneath it. Don't know why. Anyway, lots to sort out. Lots to sort out today. Miranda got glasses, so that's good. I'm glad you did. I do need to make it a point to look at the comments when I start my show. I set up a system where my comments are right here, and I didn't do it. So that's the thing, is in life we keep repeating the same mistakes until eventually we learn. And so hopefully I will learn, and let this be a lesson to you. If you keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over again, maybe learn it this time. I don't know. So, yeah, frustrating today. Alex Stein's way of dealing with Target was hilarious. That was funny, what Alex Stein did. If you saw it or not, he went in and he's very funny and over the top, and he's a bit of a troll. I think one thing that is helpful for Alex Stein is he's tall. I don't know that he's that big, but he's I guess a bigger guy, but he's taller. And so he's able to go in and do like selfie videos, but because he's so much taller than everyone else, they have a hard time, swatting his phone down. I was totally unaware of Occupy Wall Street. No TV, no internet back then. Yeah, Occupy Wall Street it scared the system really bad. Obviously, in Portland, the Occupy movement was massive. They kind of took over some parks downtown and were there 24 hours a day for months, calling for change. And that really got the bankers' attention. And then all of a sudden, all the banks changed, and we saw a whole lot more woke stuff after that. That just could be a coincidence. I don't think it was, but I guess that's for another time. Being politically neutral for a company can be difficult because there is a lot of pressure to take sides. Coffee particularly is very left-leaning. That's an interesting point of view, Rube's Good Brain Coffee. Now, I've not had any Rube's Good Brain Coffee, but I think anyone that comments in my show should probably be supported. I know they're out there on the East Coast. So if you're out there, give them a look. I understand that it can be tricky. One of the things is we always make assumptions about people, and we assume that they think like we do. Okay? it's tricky. I'm here in Portland, and I do a lot of stuff in the arts. I volunteer in the arts area, and we meet, and it's always what are your pronouns and what's your spirit animal and all kinds of stuff like that. And you just kind of have to make assumptions that everybody there is all about that. But a lot of people aren't. They just don't speak up. Because if you are a minority in a particular community, you don't speak up. And I think it's probably the same in coffee, where overall we think of coffee as being a kind of a left thing. But I don't think it necessarily is. But I don't know. I'm not an expert in this stuff. Let's see. What else is happening. Rube's Good Brain Coffee. One of my old bosses had a coffee tree growing at his house, and every year it would yield about 5 coffee cherries. 5. Wow. Well, you're going to be able to make a thimble with that that kind of yield. The problem is that nothing happened. Could be because there's no there, or because it's true and it gets buried. Yeah, that's the thing, is we don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. That, I want you to think about that phrase a lot. You don't know what you don't know. And it's very, very true. Your microphone collects data. Absolutely. Yeah, I know collecting data can blackmail or coerce or reward you. Natasha buys a lot of kale. Withhold kale from her until she does our bidding. Exactly. Rand Paul consistently. Okay. Check out Dr. Cornel West. I'm very familiar with Cornel West. I don't like the hyperbolic language that people use. And I don't like that of any politician, because I feel that it's unfair. I don't, I saw that he called Trump a neo-fascist, and I just don't like those kind of ad hominem attacks on anybody. And he said equal things about Biden as well. But I don't think that that's productive to name call in that kind of way. I think that a lot of the sentiment of Cornel West, I think he's coming from a good place. But to me, it's not persuasive to insult, and not just insult, to vilify people as fascist or neo-fascist. I don't want to be associated with people that make all those claims. And it's like, well, what about all the stuff Trump says? And I'm like, well, I didn't say I want to be associated with him either, right? I'm really not a fan of most of them. I read Eat, Pray, Love was in a book club back then. I can see that being part of a book club. I've never been part of a book club. I think one of the issues with book clubs with me is you don't have enough time to read the book. I don't want to show up and be a phony and have only read half the book and then participate in the discussion. So I don't know, but maybe that would be a fun thing. I ought to look into book clubs. Let's see. Homeschooling is becoming necessary in this day and age. I do kind of agree with that. I don't know. I would still like to have kids. I'd probably need a date first, but but I haven't been really impressed by the public schools around me when I see what is being pushed. Part of schooling is social activity for the kids, and then part of it is also babysitting, right? Just getting the kids out of your hair for a number of hours a day. But as far as education, obviously, I think a lot can be done better homeschooling. I will tell you one thing that I did in high school. I had a deal where I went to 2 classes at the high school, and then I left and went to a high school experience by going to 2 classes, and what that allowed me to do was then I could still participate in sports. And so that worked out for me. And I think that there are those possibilities that maybe you don't have to send kids to school for the whole day. Maybe you can send them for 2 classes. I don't know. Everyone's different. Yes, public school is too focused on gender inclusivity, Marxist indoctrination, so homeschooling is preferred. There's a lot of that going on. I would have done the stop thing, but I didn't know you had already started. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Somehow, Cornel West and Dr. Robert George are able to get along together and be friends. I respect that, although I can't get on board with West's ideology. Yeah, I think that's the important thing, is we need to be able to talk to each other, and this whole idea of if you can't talk to somebody that you disagree with because you're giving them a platform, that's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. So Rumble's checking in. Having a case of the Tuesdays. Just say go Brandon, bump. Finally we're good on streaming. OX_00 novel canceled. I like the book Fahrenheit 451. The firemen were the one. I think it's ridiculous to cancel a novel. I really do. It's fiction. It's fiction. But, we have to take this at face value. Perhaps this was an idea to drum up some free publicity. Maybe they weren't having very many pre-orders. They decided to make a big PR stunt by saying that, oh, no, we're not going to put it out now. And, it gets people talking, oh, I remember Eat, Pray, Love. Let me read some of her other books. Who knows? It could just be marketing if you're cynical. I don't know. Anyway, I got to figure out my internet situation. I got to figure out my streaming situation. I'm sorry that this was kind of an S show today, but hopefully we'll be better tomorrow. So check back tomorrow. I will be sure to try to do a better job, and I'm going to try to not repeat the same mistake over and over again, and I invite you to do the same. So hopefully you have a beautiful day.